Okie dokie. I want to get. So, hello, everybody. Let me get my Bible pulled up on this computer. It's a lot easier. Thank God for technology, right? So, hello to everyone. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Hello, my best friend. Hey, Autumn. Hey, guys. So, I have some time here at the office. So, we're going to make the most of this small amount of time that I have to do another pop up for the week. I'm trying to get as much as I can into these platforms. And so, when I have an opportunity and I have an extension of what we touched on yesterday, then we're gonna deep dive. If this is your first time watching or tuning in, my name is Genesis Dorsey, and I am a faith-based teacher. I focus primarily with helping women to unleash their voice in three areas of expertise, which is speaking, writing, and teaching. And of course, that is not contained in ministry, but that is within whatever your area of expertise is, whether it's healthcare, whether it's real estate, whether it's education, whether it is consulting a certain field, whether you are an entrepreneur or creative. But today we're going to focus primarily on the creatives today because I have two lanes I focus on: creatives and entrepreneurs, as far as who are we focusing on within this? And they overlap. We have creatives that are entrepreneurs, and we have entrepreneurs that may not be creatives, right? And so, but as someone who is a creative, I teach this with a little bit of passion because I understand what it's like, and I like to make sure that I always make time for the creatives. And so, I had done a teaching a couple weeks back on the biggest lies that Christian creatives are taught within conferences, within churches, within, all these different summits, the biggest lies. And I actually want to bring that up first before we deep dive into today's lesson. Today, we're talking about do not underestimate yourself. It is really critical. And this is not a conversation just for the newbies. You can underestimate yourself at any point within your process, within, God working within your platform, your business. This is not something that is, again, just contained towards someone just getting started in business, right? You can underestimate yourself in so many ways. And I believe that the corporate world calls it imposter syndrome, right? And so that is the syndrome in which, you don't believe that you actually are really who you're supposed to be. And you believe that really, you're kind of living this thing out as a lie, right? And so, it's important that we take out time to address these things. So I want to first give you the 7 lies that we touched on this back in the beginning of this month, June 11th. And the biggest lies that the enemy has fed to Christian creatives. And then we're going to continue from the previous teaching I did back in the beginning of July. We're going to continue today with not underestimating yourself. So here are the 7 lies that I have heard over the test of time. Again, we covered this June 11th. I'm going to bring it back up. Number 1, these are the lies that the enemy has fed Christian creatives, or people have fed you within the church, again, within conferences. So let's go back over these 7. Number 1, my inability to focus is due to God giving me many gifts. I hear creatives tell me this all the time. The reason why it's hard for me to focus is because I'm multifaceted. Okay. Okay. Your focus has nothing to do with you being gifted in multiple areas. Okay. Number 2, I must use every gift within me with the greatest capacity possible. I gotta use every gift I have. I have to maximize it to the full brim. Okay, I've heard that one. Okay. Number 3, unless my gift is visible, unless people are seeing me, okay, unless people are picking my name up, what I'm doing is not impactful, nor is it useful. Ooh, sheesh. We're going to talk about that one. Number 4, I must monetize every single gift or idea that comes to my mind. This is the one that trips a lot of people up, especially when they talk about how they're creating multiple streams of income, but having focused on getting the first stream to even create the ability to have something to float on it, right? But we're gonna listen today, though. I'm gonna help us out. Okay, listen. You're not gonna be that person that is creating every T-shirt, book, business domain, and you buying things every other day. That's not gonna be you. That's not gonna be your story. Okay, and then we push it to, well, God made me a creative. Okay, no, that's not. We're not gonna scapegoat God. Okay, number five, my creativity is the foundation of my worth on the earth. People say, I'm a creative. I hear that. I'm a creative. I'm just like, okay, but who are you? No, no, I'm a creative. Okay, but your name is Genesis. Who is Genesis? No, I'm a creator. Okay, y'all get it? Okay, that's not your identity. Okay, your identity first comes from Christ. Number six, being chaotic is what comes with being a creative. People, oh my God. And this goes back to number one with the inability to focus. But people say, my chaos is a part of my process. Wow. I hear it all the time. People tell me, this is a part of being creative. I said, no, I don't know. I do not know. I did not know that. Okay. That being creative is just being chaotic is just what comes with being creative. Number seven. Oh, we're gonna really hit the wall with this one. The reason why people don't understand me is because I am a creative. I've heard this one. The reason why people can't really seem to understand me is because I speak the language of a creative. Everyone's not a creative. Everyone can't pick up the creative language. So that's why I'm misunderstood. Okay. Woo, it's a lot of lies. It's a lot of lies, but we're going to attack these lies, okay? And we're going to focus on today. A way of attacking these lies is through today's teaching, which is number one. We're talking about, again, do not underestimate your ability. Right. And that goes with these lies, because what's happening is that your ability is being choked by some of these excuses that people give. The reason why my business is not growing is because people do not understand my pricing. People do not understand what I'm trying to do. People give these reasons for why they're not successful. They believe that other people are the reason to why they lack the success as a creative, or why their business is not expanded. And let me tell you this, God has already provided for you the solution to any problem that you have. God's already provided the solution. Already provided. Remember what we talked about yesterday on the platform is that there is not a problem. I want you to hear me. We're going to bring this back up from yesterday. There is not a problem in the earth that people are dealing with where God has not already anointed somebody to help solve the problem. So you have to believe that this is not that your assignment in the earth is not just to participate, but that it is to activate what God has already placed within you, and you are the problem solver. This is not where we're waiting on someone to be born. We're waiting on someone to come out the ground. No, this is where you have already been given the ability. You already have the gifts, the skills, the talents. It's already been put within you. But what has to happen now is, number one, you have to believe that you are capable, that you are able, which goes within being capable, right? That you are appointed and anointed for this. This is not by accident. Right, but God is on assignment, right? Okay, he has assigned you, and then I have to do something about what I believe. It's not, this is big, it's not belief until you are convicted about what you believe. People say all the time, oh yeah, I believe, but your feet aren't moving. If your feet aren't moving, you don't believe what's coming out of your mouth. There must be a conviction so deep in your heart that when you say that I am gifted, that God has anointed me, that I am a genius, that I am an expert, that I am these things. Well, if you are those things, then the demonstration should be there. That's just like when Jesus was walking across the earth and he was healing, he was setting people free. Well, he already said what he was going to do when he opened up the scroll and he read in the synagogue. He said,
this is the day. He said, listen, we can go back to it where he even says, he says, listen, I've come to set the captive free, to bring sight to the blind. I mean, he talked about this to set the appointed day. I mean, did he not say that? But then once he said it, he then sat down and he said, today the scripture has been fulfilled. But then that wasn't enough, because for it to be fulfilled, you got to go out and demonstrate. So then what he does is he goes out and he actually sets the captives free. He takes mud, spits into it, and he heals the blind man, and his eyes open. The pool at Bethesda, man was sitting by the pool, and Jesus says, do you want to be healed? And the man says, actually, no, he says, do you want to be made whole? I believe. I want to make sure I get the right thing. And he says, get up. And the moment he gets up, he's healed. We have the man who comes with his friends, or sorry, the friends that bring him, who tear out a roof and put their friend into the house, and he is healed. But then how is he healed? Well, because he says that your friend's faith has healed you. Jesus is out here demonstrating, teaching. He's setting people free from the old lies, the mistruths. He is syncing together the Old with the New Testament. This guy is out here demonstrating because Jesus believed what he knew he was there to do. And we even know he was on assignment because he said, I cannot do what the Father's not willing to do. I can only do what the Father wills. I'm not on my own. I'm not here independently. I'm not an independent contractor. I have been sent here by God to fulfill something. And when you have such a deep conviction, it helps your confidence. Okay, so this is why today, again, we're going to be talking about this pop-up about you not underestimating yourself. Okay, as a creative, you cannot underestimate yourself. Now, why do creatives underestimate themselves? Well, that's a good question, Genesis. Well, the reason why many times creatives underestimate themselves is that they overthink. As a thinker, a creative is a thinker. Okay, that's what makes our abilities so amazing, is that we can think of things in ways and have it demonstrated in ways just simply beautiful, right? And many times we cripple ourselves by overthinking, by trying to strive for perfection. We forget that when people hire us, that we're not designing for ourselves, but that we're designing for the people, or whatever it is that you're creative. Get, whether you're baking a cake, whether you're a photographer, whether you are a dancer, whether you are a connoisseur of whatever art it may be, right? It's the fact that we have to remember that we cannot cripple ourselves by our own mind. Okay. Now, let me tell you one of the main reasons in which we can eliminate this, because that's what I want to focus on today, is how can we eliminate this overthinking all the time about everything? Well, I had brought up an example of saturation versus clarity. Saturation versus clarity, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about this because I keep on bringing it up, and I believe there's always a reason. If God has me to repeat something, there's always a reason for it. And yesterday we touched on it just a tad bit, but I want to break it down to you today. There's a difference between saturation and clarity. Let me give you some of my teaching notes that I had from May 4th. Okay, I'm going to give you some teaching notes in understanding the difference, because many people are bringing up this excuse. Creatives are saying, I keep on seeing people do what I know God has called me to do, or I want to create a new product or new venture, or whatever it may be, and I just keep on seeing other people do it, and I'm just not sure if I need to pull the trigger, or even if I'm not seeing other people do it, I'm thinking that it's just not worth it. Maybe I got to find another venture, another thing to do. But here's what I want you to hear. I want to give you the difference between noise and clarity, because another word that I've been using for saturation is noise. People tell me that the market is saturated. We know that saturation means that if you put water on a paper towel and it completely fills up with water, it is saturated. It is full of water, right? But saturation does not always mean good product. Saturation does not always mean a good business. Saturation does not always mean the people are happy. Saturation just means it is filled, right? And if you believe that God's assignments are limited by a market being saturated, then you do not know the God that you serve. And so we need to reanalyze the characteristics of God. Number one, when God brings us to a marketplace, when he brings us to an arena, whether it's ministry, whether it's the marketplace, whether it's a community, whether it's justice, is that if he's assigned us there, there's a problem that we have been assigned to solve. Remember, that your gifts, okay, are attached to God setting people free in some area of their lives. It could be within their business, it could be within their children, their families, their marriage, it could be within their homes, it could be even in their mouths, where you make food that just blesses people's mouths, right? It could be within their bodies, right? It could be products you create for people's bodies. It could be the fact that you help them to set their mentality free, their mindset, their mental health, right? Whatever area of expertise that it is that you have. Remember, God does not bring you to something and somehow, oh, someone's already done it. No, 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 no. There must be something that you're meant to solve. So you have to realize that I'm not here by accident. God did not give me this idea by happenstance. There is something attached to me having this assignment. Okay, so I have to realize that there's a difference between noise and clarity. Saturation does not always mean, again, that something is filled. It just means that it is consumed by something. Now, what could that something be? Well, let's define what noise is. Noise is defined as an unwanted sound that causes disturbance. It is described as confused. It is something that interferes with someone being able to hear clearly. You're saying, do you hear that noise? You hear that noise? You hear that? You hear that? And usually it's something that is not clear. And hopefully you can get where I'm going with this. It's not something that is clear. You can't really comprehend it. That's why we say, do you hear that noise? You don't say, do you hear the baby cry, or do you hear the car? Because we don't really know what it is. So it's noise, right? And let me tell you something. Many times when we get on social media, when we meet people in person, we go to certain events, we can become intimidated because we believe that someone or something or a place represents that our gifts are not needed, or that someone does not need what God has given me to offer. But you got to remember, many times what people are simply experiencing is just noise. You got to get this. You got to get this. In a world filled with noise, someone is anointed to bring clarity. That's what Jesus did. The people were often confused because, you got all these laws, you got all these things going on, how do I live and serve God and honor Him? How do I understand how love really works? How do I honor my neighbor? How do I love myself, right? And so when Jesus came, in order for someone even to receive all the things that He first had to bring clarity. He had to teach. He had to sit down and teach the multitudes. He had to, go out into the sea and back up into a boat and preach the gospel. He had to clear out the confusion in people's heads. And this is why for some of you, you're trying to take cutting corners to get to your promised place within your business, within your career, within whatever it is. And you think that by cutting corners, if I just do the easy way, I'm going to get to it. But the thing is, God will not allow you to do so, because what you've been called to is a deeper level of revelation for people. In other words, let me give it to you like this. When you walk in your creativity, it's not just a regular level of creativity, but whenever you are doing what you do, people actually are changed and transformed. People actually do experience something a little bit different than what they would have experienced with somebody else, right? There is a touch to what you do. Remember what I said yesterday? It's not what you do, it's the results that you produce that nobody can do it. That's where your anointing is. Your anointing within your creativity is not the fact that you can create certain creative directives within your company that help to transform other companies and their businesses. It's the fact that when they get done working with you, the results that you provide in their business are game changers. And see, some of you are so worried about the competition that you can't even get yourself to compete because you're so consumed by what other people are doing. Listen, we research the market. We have to understand what's happening in the market. We do have to look at our competition, right? Some people don't believe in competition, but in business, you do need to see what other people are doing. But that should never intimidate you about what you've been called to do, because you have been called to solve a problem that people cannot solve the way in which you solve it. See, I'm not going to get consumed because someone else is doing what I'm doing. I'm going to become obsessed about the fact that it's the end result that is my secret sauce. You got to get this. Listen, they may cook chicken just like you, but let me tell you something. When the chicken hits their mouth, okay, and when it goes into their taste buds, okay, listen, the results are quite different. You got to get this. Your speciality, your uniqueness, okay, is in the results that you produce. You got it? So I have to know there's a difference between noise, all these sounds, and clarity. Okay, again, noise is defined as an unwanted sound And because, like I talked yesterday, we believe that because something is popular, that must be what people want, right? But you got to remember, people are fickle. They'll change on you in a second. What they want 1 second is not what they want the other second, right? So if you get caught up in just chasing what's popular, you're going to miss God's best for your life within your creativity. You got to realize that people who solve problems will always be sought out. And you may not emerge as the most popular problem solver. But you start solving some problems in people's stomach. You start solving some problems in people's families, within people's bedrooms. Let's say, you are an interior designer. Let's say you are someone who produces shows. Let me tell you something. At some point, if God has called you to do something, there is no denying in your gift. It's just automatic. And see, maybe you don't feel like it is because, again, you're looking at all these other factors, but that's you. Again, you got to stop overthinking. You got to focus on what you've been called to do. Again, so many people hop in entrepreneurship not knowing the industry. I wrote this on May 4th. I want to reread it to us. What they want to do, how they want to monetize. They're like everyone else. And they are clones with the same message and the voice as the crowds. And they're making noise. You're making noise. So this is why I want to go back to the lies that creatives. But remember, one of the lies was people cannot understand me because I am a creative. Right? That's the lie that we've been. No one understands me because I am a creative. But that's a lie. I'm offend the flesh. I'm offend your flesh real quick, but you gotta have me under. You gotta understand this, okay? Okay, gotta understand this. Is that sometimes as creatives, and this is a true story for many creatives, unfortunately, we find our value in how people treat us. We find our importance in the way that people receive us. And if people don't receive us a certain way, we feel like we're not valuable. Right? It's a very dangerous place to be. That's true of many humans. But the thing about creatives is that we put our heart with our work. That's the difference. Like, our heart goes with the work, right? So, and that's hard for many creatives to separate, right? Because, again, a lot of who we are is in what we do. That's the part of being creative, right? But again, sometimes the reason why people don't understand you is because you're not clear, not because you're creative. Because, oh no, people don't understand me because I'm a creative. No, many times people don't understand you because we don't know what the heck it is that you do. You don't need, sometimes people don't even know what they do. And they say, oh, people can't understand me. No, we can't understand you because we can't follow you. We don't know what you do. We don't know who you are. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what your area of expertise is. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Right? And let me tell you something. People will come to know who you are when you focus on what you've been called to do. But you have to become clear. See, I have to first make myself emit clarity before someone can understand who I am, what I do, and how I can help them. Right? So we have to realize that being mysterious is not a marketing strategy, right? Like there's a part of being mysterious that actually is a part of marketing, but the mysterious I'm talking about is where, like, I'm a hidden enigma and no one can figure me out, and this is just who I am, and I just want to, like, be so antisocial, and but then call it being an introvert. Like it's like a mixture. Like we just try to feel like, what are they doing? What's over there, right? This is the thing I'm talking about. You have to realize that if you're going to emerge out into the open, then you have to realize what that comes with, right? If you want to help people, you have to be clear on how you're going to help them. If you want to transform people's lives, you got to be clear on how you're going to transform their life. Remember, I talk about destination, right? If you say that I'm here to help people do X, Y, and Z, well, then number one, how are you going to do that? And then number two, what are the results that they should experience by experiencing you? If you can't give me those two answers, then it doesn't matter how creative you are, how gifted you are, how talented you are. People will not know what to expect. They will not have any sense of excitement because they don't even know what to be excited about. Got it? So we have to create clarity. Your anointing is connected to clarity. Okay. Remember that there's someone out there that needs what you have. And the thing about it is that they want to hear about what you do. You have to create a sound. You have to create something that they can recognize, right? Noise is creating something that, what did they say? I don't know. What did they say? But a sound, see, soundness, pureness, clarity says, oh, wait, hold on, wait. I am struggling with that. Is my wait, hold on. I do need that service. Wait, I do want to eat at a place like that. Wait, I love that menu. Wait, what was it again? Right? Yeah, I think I need, right? So again, I have to not underestimate myself because as we wrap up and I'm done here, right? Is that you have to cut through the noise and make a sound. That's where we're going to end. Okay, go cut through the noise and you've got to make a sound. Okay. So what's your homework from this little pop-up? Number one, you got to evaluate where you may have been underestimating yourself when it comes to noise versus clarity, when it comes to you being saturation or I'm a creative, nobody understands, all these. Okay, listen. Okay, great. Okay, great. We come to that little summation. Okay, now what are we going to do about it though? Right? We can talk all day about who isn't supporting or how this is happening. Oh, my business isn't happening. This isn't expanding. Okay, great. But what you going to do? Because we can talk all day about what's not working. But the more time you spend on what's not working is less time for you to figure out what you're going to do about it. Now, remember what we said yesterday, if I am in stress about a situation, then the first thing is I need to ask God for wisdom. James 1:5 says that if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God who gives it to him freely. Okay. So if I need wisdom because I don't know what to do, if you don't know what to do, you need wisdom. If I don't know what to do, I need, what's the W word? I need wisdom. If I don't know the what, I need wisdom. If you don't know the how, you need wisdom. And if you don't know the where, you still need wisdom. Okay. Because you need clarity. You need to know what way to go. Right? So you need to pray for wisdom. But then the other thing you need to do is you got to make a move. You got to make a sound. You got to bring clarity into the arena in which you've been called to help, to be the problem solver of. Right? So I want you to think about that. What are some ways this summer in which I can become more visible in my arena to solve problems? There's more problems for you to solve. I don't care how much money you made. Believe me, there's more to be made. I don't care how many people you touch. Even though I do care. There's more people. Don't limit yourself. Do not underestimate your ability. Some of you are meant to expand your territory. And so it's time for you to expand some of these arenas. You need to go into some different zip codes, but you have to make a noise. Sorry, not make a sound. Excuse me, not make a noise. We're done with that. Sorry, you make a sound. You have to bring clarity. So an easy exercise is you need to do, sit down. You need to pray. And then you need to spend some time with God over the next couple of weeks and really get still so that you can better understand how you're going to impact continuously. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. This is an awesome little pop-up. This Thursday is our accountability call at 8 p.m. Eastern time, completely free, primarily for women, but we have some men that have registered as well. I'm not sure if they'll be on live, but you will at least get the replay. You can go by going to genesisdorsey.com. Again, genesisdorsey.com. Scrolling to the bottom of the website on the homepage, and you'll see there a link to register for the Zoom. Again, we're going to have an amazing, amazing, amazing time this Thursday. And I would love for you to be a part of this free accountability call. It's for an hour. We do it every month. It's free every month. And we kick off for the first 15 minutes, just kind of being a community. I don't keep you guys bound to me. We're like, we're meeting like every other day. No, we meet once a month for 1 hour. And we spend 15 minutes first just meeting everybody, connecting. Then I teach for 30 minutes. And then we end the final 15 where we're going to focus our next 30 days on being accountable to what God has called us to do. Specifically, one thing. I don't focus on us having all these multiple goals. You can do that on your own time where you strategize all these different things. But I'm more focused on keeping you focused on the one thing. Let's just find one thing that you need to do, one thing that you need to complete, one thing that you need to achieve, one thing maybe that you need to create over the next 30 days that are part of God's purpose and plan for your life. Okay. Love you guys so much. Be blessed. And I hope to see you guys on the accountability call, this Thursday. Okay. Bye.